Peace be to you all. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician assistant and health educator. I wanted to do a quick video. I'm walking backwards if it looks like things are coming toward me. Sun is it would block out the video. But I am running home after working night shift. I was a hospitalist PA, and I happened to go to the doctor's, or I went to the doctor's lounge and saw the news on the television that there was a mass shooting, and you know, it popped up on my phone, and I said, oh, why are they still talking about the horrific shooting at the synagogue like it's new? Or there was a shooting at a yoga studio, I think earlier this week, or maybe over the weekend. And it turned out that it was a totally different shooting. It's a brand new shooting. Happened about 2 o'clock this morning. At first it said that there were 11 people injured, and then I saw it about an hour later, and it said, well, 12 people were killed. And I just thought, my God, what the heck is going on here in our society? Like, in my 50 years of existence, I have never ever seen mass shootings like this, one after the other, where it's been so consistent. I'd say over the past 2 years, where we're getting to the point now where you can almost time it. It's like, well, it's been about 12 weeks, there hasn't been a mass shooting, and it's getting so passé now. In fact, so much so, when I was listening to the news, I think a few days ago, there was a shooting at a yoga studio, and you know, this young man had posted this manifesto about how women, you know, were certain words that he used. I won't repeat it, but 2 people were killed, and I remember, God forgive me, I had this thought, oh, 2 people, well, that's not too bad. That's where we are now in the society. You know, 2 people get shot, and so, well, that's not too bad. Relatively, it's okay. And they said there would have been more people had not some of the people that were actually in the studio hadn't charged the guys. It would have been a lot more. But you know, this shooting that happened apparently about 2 o'clock this morning. It was at a bar near on a college campus in Southern California, and I was like, wow, what the heck? What's going on here? You know, I've done videos. Sometimes I stray from videos talking about how to get into PA school and get through PA school, and I talk about social issues, which I think I have a responsibility to do that as a clinician. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we could blame it. You can't blame it on a particular political party, one particular religious ideology, because it's so random now. You say, oh, it's those white guys, it's those black guys, it's those Muslims, it's those anti-phobic whoever. It's random. It seems so incredibly random. You know, and as a clinician, as part of my studies, when I took pathophysiology, which was a beast, of course, we had something called, you learn about diseases, where they call the diseases idiopathic. So you say, well, there's idiopathic melanoma, idiopathic pancreatitis, disease of unknown etiology. It's a fancy way of saying, you know, nobody knows what causes it. There's theories, there are correlations, but in science and medicine we say that correlation does not necessarily connote causality. You know, you can't point to one thing and say, this is the cause of it. So I don't know, you know, these mass killings to me, from my perspective, are idiopathic. You know, I've never seen anything like this, you know, in my existence, happen with such frequency and such randomness. You know, where are you safe? You know, you don't want to be paranoid and keep yourself in your home, But some guy comes in and shoots up a neighborhood. Yeah, I work in a place, you know, it's southeast Anacostia, where we have a higher than average homicide rate. It's gone down over the years, but you know, for those people, shootings are you know, very much implicated in their lives, unfortunately. But this other kind of thing of people just you know, dealing with their angst for whatever reason, they have a particular angst by just killing as many people as they possibly can. I've never seen anything like this, and I don't know what the cause is, and because of that, I don't personally know how to even diagnose or treat it. You know, you know, like we like to do in the clinical field. Yeah, and I'll say this, in Washington, D.C., we have one of the, in my opinion, and based on what I know, possibly one of the most restrictive set of laws that make it very, very difficult for citizens to own handguns, or any type of gun for that matter. And yet we have one of the highest murder rates. In fact, when I was doing my medical training, DC was called the murder capital of America. So a lot of horrible tragedy. So banning guns is not the answer. I mean, you could take away everybody's guns. You know, the guys that are hell-bent on murder, the guys that are absolutely have decided, like, look, my way of dealing with my issues is murdering people. They're gonna get something. Pipe bombs, or set a building on fire full of people. They're going to find out a way to murder people. And you can look at undiagnosed mental illness. And again, speaking as a clinician, I've dealt with many, many patients over the past 20 years of my sojourn into being a physician assistant, starting with school. I've dealt with many people who've had bipolar, paranoid, schizoaffective disorder, PTSD, depression, you name it. They've had it. But very, very few of them have dealt with their issues through just rampant violence. If anything, many of them were victims of violence. So if we're talking about, you know, mass shootings, the people who are perpetrating these mass shootings, if we're talking about it as an issue of mental health, that further stigmatizes an already often maligned group of people who are suffering from mental illnesses. And then you want to pass laws. Okay, if this guy has a history of PTSD or whatever, he can't get a gun. So is that fair? And then, you know, what are you going to do about gun laws? Well, that debate has I think, fragmented a lot of this great country of ours. And I don't think there's any easy answers, but maybe you guys have got some answers. Certainly there are many of you who know more about certain aspects of society than I. So I'd ask you to, what are your suggestions? How do you think we can prevent mass murders? And please be respectful to me. Somebody hurled a racial epithet and called me an N-word terrorist, which I don't know what that was about. I've spent my entire adult life learning to heal people, so I'm not a terrorist. So be respectful to me and be respectful to each other in your suggestions. So my question to you, the YouTube viewers, is what do you think can be done to curb the rampant violence that we're seeing? Specifically mass murders. Is it going to take laws being passed or things like that? Anyway, I look forward to reading your responses. Also, if you have an interest in becoming a physician assistant like me, or a health educator, or any other type of healthcare provider, or living a positive lifestyle, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. You can also reach me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Peace.